Hello, good evening, everyone. Welcome to Monday Unplugged Live. Just give me a second because I'm gonna invite Lionel as well as Sergio to join us. Here we go. And now let's just wait a bit, okay? In the meantime, you can check the view. Good evening, Martine. Hope you're doing well in Canada. Martin, my dear friend. Okay, is coming. Lionel is coming in. Let's just wait for our partners and then I'm gonna share with you about the topic. Here we go. Lionel, good evening.
Hello, how are you?
All good. Let's see
All
if
good, all
Sergio.
good. Great.
Okay, just waiting for Sergio.
Okay. Having here some internet issues, but I think it's solved.
Find Sergio. Let's see if Sergio can join us. I already sent an invitation. Okay, well, in the meantime, Lionel, here we are, and today we're going to talk about how to plan a nice trip and avoiding traps and mistakes, right?
Well,
okay.
Yes. So, Sergio should be joining us in a minute.
Yes. It's always a bit tricky here at the beginning.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
Good evening.
Good evening,
Sergio.
Sergio.
Sorry, guys, for whatever reason, the notification didn't pop up on my phone, so I wasn't sure if you guys were live yet.
No problem.
Okay.
We are all here together.
Well, it just goes
and
to show that this is done live. This is not a recording.
Exactly. And we are the cameraman at the same time. We have to check the sound. So well, I think we are doing very well. So welcome.
We are all the technical crew all in one.
Yep. Exactly. one man show.
Exactly.
Okay, guys. So good evening, all. Welcome to another Monday Unplugged Live. And today, along with me, of course, we have Sergio from Porto area, Douro Valley, as well Lionel Rodrigues from Lisbon, Desirable Tours, Portugal Desirable Tours, and we're gonna talk today about something that it's. I think it's very important to talk about it because planning a trip is so important. Visiting Portugal with a nice plan, it can really enhance your experience, and of course avoiding tourist traps, avoiding all these mistakes, avoiding headaches and frustration. I think it's really important because after all, when we travel to some place, we go there in order to avoid stress and to avoid struggles. We want to relax. We want to enjoy some good times, right? Okay, so well, let's start. And Lionel, we've been chatting today, and this matter came up, and we decided to talk about this. Because of course, almost every single day we see people, asking for tips, suggestions for travel plans, itineraries, and then we see a bunch of people trying their best to help them, of course. And then many times, what we notice when people they come to us here in Portugal, they arrive. They come with many times with misconceptions, with wrong ideas, and it's very easy sometimes to become frustrated. And well, today or tonight, I'm going to start with myself here. Okay, it's okay. Because it's still so fresh in my mind. Yesterday, I had one example of what shouldn't happen not even with me, but okay, I dealt with the issue, and well, but I'm going to share with you. So in short, well, someone came from Louisiana, someone came here. They he did some research on Facebook groups, on magazines or travel blogs. He even hired a travel agent to help him. And when he came to me yesterday in the morning, I noticed he was really upset. I mean, he was struggling because at the very first approach, he came to me and he was trembling a bit with cold. And I said, "So are you doing well?" No, it's just this is just colder than I thought. I read and I heard that Portugal is warm. The Algarve should be warm. And then I become really surprised, to be honest. And then I said, it's not even cold. So in Portimão yesterday at 9:30, when I went there to pick him up, it was around 20, 21 Celsius. So it's not even cold for the season. Last week it was much colder. And then I said, are you aware that it's going to be even colder in the next few months? And then he became a bit upset because he came to Portugal to do this, scouting. He's looking for a place to move, to live. And then he heard that Portugal is, the Algarve is very warm. And then I said, well, it's warm if we compare with Iceland or Canada or Northern Europe. It's not warm if you are coming from maybe from Louisiana, from Florida, or from Mexico. It's really relative. So I don't know what you heard about it, but the Algarve, it's mild. It doesn't freeze. We don't have snow. We have oranges around here, avocados, palm trees, but it's not as warm as you might think. And he became the guy was really upset. And then we start driving around Portimão because, of course, I was trying to show him a bit of Portimão, and then I went to visit Lago, Jalvor, and some other spots. But he was really sad because then he said, Gabriel, how much does it cost a house like this here along the river in Portimão? And then I said, well, I don't know exactly, but maybe a house like this may cost like 400,000, maybe $500,000. And the guy said, but I read everywhere that Portugal is so inexpensive. And then I was thinking, okay, but where did you read this? Because let me tell you something, Portugal is inexpensive if you go to the mountains. If you go to, if you come to these touristy spots, maybe it's not inexpensive. I mean, maybe it's inexpensive for people with loads of money. Everything is relative. So let me ask you something. How much do you think you can spend? What's your budget? And then he said, I'm able to spend maybe 300, 250, 300,000. And then I said, I think you are really, you have no clue about this region, because in order to buy a two bedrooms flat, you're going to pay more than this if you want to stay by the beach. It's very hard to find prices lower than 300,000 euros by the beach, So the guy was really, really upset. But this was just an example of someone who came to Portugal through a travel agent. He gathered lots of information on all these Facebook groups we know. But yeah, he was really, he canceled the tour for today. And he said, I'm just gonna call my travel agent because I want to go back. I don't want to stay here. This is not what I expected, and it's not your fault. I know this is not Portugal's fault. I just created some image in my mind, and I was wrong. And this was sad. I mean, I felt sad for the guy, especially for the guy, because okay, the guy came, he spent lots of money, he invested in travel agents in maybe so many times. Hotels and whatever, and the guy was really upset. But on the other hand, I had again this month a couple. They came through a travel agent, Nicole. She lives in Portugal, in Caminha. By the way, I'm gonna post. I'm gonna do a post, and then I'm gonna post about her because she's really a travel agent that people they can trust. I mean, I understand sometimes people they don't come to local travel agents in Portugal because they don't know us, okay? So maybe it's easy to find a travel agent in Toronto or in New Jersey or in China, I don't know, or in India, and then they use those travel agents. But smart travel agents, and when I say smart, I mean, I know they are all smart at some point, but the thing is, many times they don't know the country too. They never been living here. Maybe they came here, they visit the place for three, maybe they just explore the hot spots. They don't know much about this. So when it comes for them to advise people, they know as much as people around here they know. And what people around here they know what we keep popping up every single day. You know, we all know Lago, Sintra, Óbidos, Porto, Lisbon, Seven Valleys, Banagil, they are all amazing. But there's way more. And these people, they don't know about this. So it's a small circle of information and they don't go out. And many times outside this bubble, that's where we find so many other hidden gems. Of course, all these spots I've been talking in, all these popular spots, they become popular for a reason, and because they are really, really beautiful. Okay, so we have these kind of experiences when people they come to us, and then we notice, okay, you did a good homework, you are working with a nice travel agent, you know exactly what you are looking for, you really choose something that is suitable for you. But on the other hand, many times people they come and they feel frustrated, and this is really bad. And sometimes these people, when they leave their miserable experiences, they blame the country. They blame Portugal. Oh, this is not what we expected. Of course not, because you created some illusion,
Or
images.
someone created you the illusion.
Or someone. Oh, yes,
Exactly.
because that's a good point, Lionel. And okay, I've been talking a bit. Now I'm going to pass
No,
the
no,
ball
go
to you,
ahead. Go
Lionel.
ahead.
No, Lionel, keep talking about this because you're going to say exactly what I would say. Okay, so some
Yeah.
people
Well,
they channel these people not for the best things for them, but for what they think it's best for themselves. Go ahead.
well, I want to try not to monopolize it over
Oh,
here.
sorry, guys.
But
I know sometimes I
no,
become a
no,
bit
no, no,
excited.
no
I talked
worries,
a
no
bit too
worries.
much.
But
Now I'm going to keep my mouth shut.
no, what I've been seeing is in fact that a lot of people have kind of a preset image or a preset idea of Portugal that probably was true a few years ago. They might even have been in Portugal, but a few years ago. But things have changed. Okay, and the things in here can change even for us locals. Stuff like I used to go to this place through this street. Last week I drove through this street to go to this place, and today I cannot because the street is closed or they change the traffic direction or such. It even happened to me a few days ago in Lisbon. That a place I was quite used to go, probably in the last month or month and a half or so, they just changed the traffic direction, so you cannot go there anymore because
Yeah.
the things has changed. And it's a place that has a lot of events with pickups and drop-offs and such. So it's not so easy. It's not so easy anymore to do it. But what has been happening, and it's this: um, a lot of people just come to the places or book the places with the image that is sold to them. Okay, and I had a recent case of a place, and this was a hard argument with a travel agent about picking up someone with luggage. And I was telling her, I cannot go there. I'm not legally allowed to go to that street. But I called the B&B and they say that the cars can go through that street. So, but I thought I'm legally not allowed to go there. I cannot do it. Okay. And we were having an argument about that. But then she said, "Oh, but the B&B has so great reviews and the pictures look beautiful." Yes, but if you have people with luggage, the tourism vehicles are not allowed to go there. Okay, and we cannot just put ourselves in in risk. And this is very ungrateful when we are the ones giving the face on site of someone's plan. Okay, that wasn't done right. And I totally agree with what you said. There's great travel agencies, many of them travel agents or travel advisors, and we end up being travel agents and advisors
Yeah.
ourselves. But we are on site. They are on site, okay? And I've been working with one that she lives in Portugal. She has an established company in Portugal as well. And she does great things, and she writes a lot of articles because she is on site checking and exploring the place. Okay, so this is my best advice for people that want to come to Portugal. Contact someone who's local, a travel advisor, a travel agent, or book your tickets and then let someone local plan your itinerary. If you don't want to do it yourself, do all the research, because by yourself doing the research, you might end up also going into some overhyped places, or some traps, because we know, and we touch this subject very often, week after week. There's places that are overhyped. There's places that are really, really just repeated everywhere, that are the must sees, the must do's, the must goes, places, restaurants, whatever. And then when people go there, they say, yeah, it was not what I expected. Well, okay. Same thing with, food court markets, another story, but, it's what it is. And before I'll pass the ball to Sergio, I just want to touch here a very, very strong misconception. And sorry, Sergio, about this. It's still quite frequent to see everywhere, in every travel blog, in every magazine, whatever. If you want to come to Portugal to try wines, it's the Douro Valley where you need to go. Well, the Douro Valley you need to go not because of the wines. Douro Valley you need to go because mainly of the landscape, or what it has to offer, the culture. Even if you don't like wines, it's a place to go. Okay, but we are one of the very few countries that has certified wine regions north to south. I was last Saturday on the winery, which I'm going to visit in a few days again with another group. They even have the map of the wine regions throughout Portugal, and we like to show that to our guests. To try wines in Portugal, you get to it pretty much everywhere. You can even go on a wine tour with Gabriel in the Algarve. He's going to find great stuff. So, to save a little bit the integrity of the Douro Valley, that is a beautiful place, but certain areas or certain times of the year, it's become a bit hard to deal with. Okay, if your deal it's just wine, you can try great wines elsewhere in the country. And even, with any of us, even with Sergio, you can go to other places that are not on the valley. But this is one of the biggest misconceptions that I see everywhere, that the Douro Valley is the wine region. Okay, what do you have to say about this, Sergio?
Good evening, everyone. Douro Valley being the only wine region in the country, well, I'm 100% with you on that statement, because I
Exactly.
feel like the Douro Valley is not the only wine region. It's definitely not the only wine region in the country. And I think that a couple of weeks ago, I had this expose over here where I told you that I did 2 days with the same customers. We did the Douro Valley, and then on the second day, we did the Down. And they ended up preferring the Down over the Douro Valley, both for the beauty, both for the scenery, as well as for the quality of the wines. And on top of that, they were cheese aficionados, so they absolutely loved the Serra da Estrela. And we can call things as it is. Right now, certain places at the Douro Valley, if you're thinking that you're going to see that quaint, beautiful little town, if you're seeing that little town, that location mentioned over and over again on travel blogs, by travel advisors, travel agents, and whatnot, it's going to be everything except quaint. It's not going to be that hidden gem that you think it is. And I had a couple of days ago actually a very interesting experience. It doesn't happen often that I do this tour, but it's funny because when it happens, I feel like I do this tour 3 to 4 times in a row. So over the course of the 7 days, beginning in the middle of the last week until mid next week, I'm actually going to be doing this tour 3 times over. And this is actually an interesting one. And I call this one a tour of contrasts. Because on the first winery that we visit, it's actually not about port wine. This is a tour that is not focused on port wine at all. And the first winery that we go to, it's a very modern, sleek winery, minimalist. People absolutely love it. But then just the other day, I had the gentleman telling me, you know what? This was definitely not what I was expecting to see over here at the Douro Valley. And it kind of surprise them, but in a positive way. And then we had lunch, and then we went to the contrasting winery in the afternoon, which was the one that I call the more rustic, more all hands on deck kind of approach for winemaking. And they were in the middle of the work. We even heard some swearing on the hallways over there of the winery. So well, I let people know beforehand, well, be aware that we have the workers over here, and they won't mind their language. So you're probably gonna hear some cuss words in Portuguese. But and then I asked him, so what do you think about this one? And the gentleman, he was like, yeah, this is actually more in line with the idea that I had about the winemaking over here at the Douro Valley. So yeah, it's contrasting, but we can show that there's definitely the original, the authentic, but then there's also an entirely new side of it that people can also get to enjoy. This is for Douro Valley, and if we get out of the Douro Valley, I'm becoming more and more passionate with each passing season with the down wine region. And in fact, this is actually something that I would like to push a little bit harder through social media. The Douro Valley, I would say it has been discovered, period.
Yeah.
There's I can no longer say that it's Portugal, advanced Portugal, so to speak. The Douro Valley for me is Portugal for beginners.
Mm-hmm.
It's like going to Lagos. It's like going to Sintra. People coming to the north, if they have the time for it, they go to the Douro Valley. If they have a little bit more time, 2 days, let's do Douro Valley and let's do down, and let's contrast the approach on the two regions. And you're going to see that the wines are going to be different. Maybe you're going to find something that is more to your taste in the down wine region. One of the questions that I frequently ask on my tours is, what type of wines have you tried in the country so far? And a lot of people up here in the north, at the very least, they say, we've tried Douro Valley wine, we tried the table wine, we've tried Porto wine, and we've tried Vinho Verde. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I tell people, well, congratulations, you had 3 wines and 2 different wine regions over here in the country. There's 12 left to explore. So
exactly.
So yeah, there's plenty of things to see and to do over here. And well, regarding getting to know the country, I'm gonna speak a little bit more broadly right now, just not about the Douro Valley. For traveling, I would say that it's kind of like I would take the same approach that I take when I'm reading something that is related to one of my hobbies, be it astrophotography, be it building computers and whatnot. Read reviews, but just don't read reviews that are all gonna agree on the same thing. Read from multiple sources because particularly on tech reviews, multiple sources have different approaches, different methodologies to test the same thing. Like for example, testing the same CPU on a brand new CPU. They're gonna use different programs, different benchmarks to see how the CPU behaves. And one of the biggest recommendations that I have ever seen is don't just read that one review. Read plenty of them, explore plenty of them. Because if you're going to do video editing, that use case is completely different. If you're going to do, I don't know, watching videos on YouTube, completely different. The requisites are going to be different. So what might be suitable for one use case might not be so suitable for another one. And the same thing goes. You probably need a 500 euro CPU, but if you're just watching videos on YouTube, maybe you can get by with a 50 or 60 euro CPU. You don't need all that much. So the same thing goes for traveling. What are you expecting to see? What is your use case? What are your expectations? And then read about it, but just don't focus on the same things. I would even go as far as to say, don't trust us. We're probably
exactly.
we're biased. I mean,
I've been saying this too. I've been saying this.
Yeah. We are pushing over here. It's not an agenda, but we've been trying to convey the message that we are not the know-all, end-all for travel. We just know a portion of the country, and we specialize in this unplugged niche, which is something that calls to us. We like doing this kind of stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
There's people who like to do the popular destinations. That's perfectly fine. As long as your expectations are in line to what you're going to see, what you want to do, that's perfectly fine. Because if there is a disconnection between the expectation and the reality, this is a recipe for less than optimal experience. So just put yourself first. That's my main advice. Put yourself first. Just think, what do you want to do? What do you want to see? Is this in line with the majority of recommendations that you see out there? If it is, perfect, follow them. If it's not, if everyone is saying, well, you're coming to Portugal and Gabriel, you need to go to the Benagil caves. Gabriel probably has a different opinion on that. Or if you reach out to Lionel and you say, hey, I want to go to the Pena Palace, Lionel probably has a different opinion on that. If you tell Sergio, hey, I want to go to Quinta A, B, or C, Sergio probably has a different opinion on that as well. So ask yourself the question, what do you want to be? What do you want to do? What do you want to see? And tell us a little bit more about you. What are you interested in? Because if people, when they reach out to us, if they just say, hey, we're two persons, we like to do a Douro Valley tour on the 29th. Do you have availability? Send us your program, send us your quote. What we're going to do, we're going to send our, I would say, should I call it? Our crowd pleasers, basically. That's what we do. So if people don't give us more details, we're going to send the standard offering. But if people tell us, hey, we're two persons, we're already in our 60s, 70s, so that already clicks something in our heads. These people are probably not that active, so they're not going to walk all that much. And then we also don't like Porto wine, so we might change, we might suggest a different program. And we don't want to do a full day tour of the Douro Valley. We just want to see one estate, maybe have lunch, and then get back to our accommodation. Perfect. So the program that I'm going to suggest is going to be completely different. And because it's going to be different, it's going to be well suited for the request that I just had. So I'm not going to send a suggestion, an itinerary, if people are not specific about it. And for people wanting to say, hey, we have 2, 3 free days that are open. What do you recommend we do? Should we do a little bit more cities? Should we do a little bit more countryside? Should we do something a little bit more cultural, something a little bit more gastronomic? I mean, with 3 days, that's a sort of travel agent dream, because we can suggest a couple of things and we can get to know the persons a little bit better and put something together that they're gonna absolutely love. And surprise, surprise, one of the things that I might suggest is, hey, how about we go to the Douro Valley, but then we also explore other wine regions. If you like wine, instead of basing ourselves 3 days at the Douro Valley, and I often say 3 days is not enough for the Douro Valley, but your time is limited. Do you want to go a little bit more in depth in the Douro Valley, or do you want to explore a little bit more of the other wine regions? So there's a myriad of options that we can choose from. And my biggest advice, this is what we've been telling all along. Be specific, and the more information you give us about yourself, the better we can cut to the chase and present to you with something that is going to be interesting for you, that is going to be very satisfying, very rewarding for you, and you'll have for sure a wonderful experience. It does help, and this actually is something that for us tour guides and travel agents, it excites us to build something that is custom made for a customer, that we know that because our aim is always to provide with a different experience. The number of times that I had people ask me, so are you going to have another tour tomorrow? What will be doing tomorrow? And I tell them, yeah, I'm going to have another tour tomorrow. So tomorrow I'm going to be doing the same thing that I did with you yesterday or today, because this is basically my best-selling tour. And for people who just is their first time to Portugal, I like to offer a comprehensive approach to the Douro Valley or to Porto or to the Down, etc. But for people coming for the second time, or for people who already have a very well-defined idea of what they want to see, sometimes I do suggest different things that are more in line with those person's expectations. So yeah, that's pretty much it. That's all I had to do. I mean, we are just one amongst many. The 3 of us, we are just 3 among many of tour guides that have different approaches, different philosophies, different behaviors. Even hell, it's also a factor in the decision-making process. Different price points for our experiences. So all of this matters. So find something that is going to suit you, that is within your budget, with a person or a guide that you've already developed a little bit of a rapport with, and that's it. You're going to have over there winning recipe. So I tell people, and I just said it right now, we are just one source of information. Don't trust just us. We are not the end-all know-it-all. So there's other people out there who also have very valid opinions. You guys mentioned travel agents. Gabriel, I think which Nicole you're referring to. Lionel, I also think which travel agent you're also
Yes,
referring
yes.
to. I think
And
we all
other
work with the
guides,
same.
they know her. Yeah.
You know,
So
well,
those are really fantastic persons because they know, and I think they offer real value
Exactly.
because they know both the country as well as they also know where people are coming from. So they know what their expectations, and they're going to be able to do that very good match between people's expectations and what the country has
Here
to
we go.
offer. So that's it. That's all there is to it.
I'm just gonna finish with something because well, time just flies. You touched
Yeah.
in something curious. Um, I had guests very recently, okay, and they had well most of their trips planned through a travel agent, so outbound from their country. But they told me we had a really hard time setting up our plans because the first plan that was presented to us was all luxury, all 5 stars, all fine dining, all high-end stuff, and was full of well things to do that we didn't have a break. And when they told, well, we would like something a little bit less high-end, a little bit more well authentic, or well a smaller hotel or something, she didn't know what to propose us. She didn't know where to send us because she only knew high-end places. Okay, and for every traveler, there's a different kind of expectation, different kind of budget. But you have people that, they just kind of follow a certain kind of recipe, okay, and that happens on planning vacations. That happens on tours because, by example, and in the Douro Valley it happens. In the Algarve it happens. In here around Sintra it happens. Okay, we have several companies kind of following each other with the same timings, with the same stops. You end up having the guests on different tours bumping on the guests or bumping on the same people on different stops because everybody replicates the same recipe. Okay, that is not being a travel advisor or a travel planner or even sometimes a tour guide. Okay, that is pretty much just following a recipe that is a preset menu, and you just need to play the tape day after day after day. I'm sorry, but I don't play that way. And that's why sometimes when people ask me for a tour of Sintra, and I show them my specific tour that is has a lot of tweaks and doesn't go to the popular spots, most people don't understand. But I'm glad that a few do understand and they love it at the end of the day. So yes, we are here trying to help our best, but we are proud of what we share, what we want to promote, what we want to you to experience or to see, because we truly believe that those places deserve to be seen. So we try our best to help to fight all of these misconceptions that you are only or you only reach a certain level of fulfillment if you go to this or that place or to this or that winery or you take this or that picture with this or that pose, okay, because that happens internationally as well. But that's another funny story. Well, I'm not
You
about
made me
not
think about
about
the Leaning Tower of Pizza.
exactly, okay, or the finger over the Eiffel Tower and stuff like that. Well, we just went through another half an hour of a great chat. Thank you guys. I just want to thank everybody for watching. And we'll be back next week with more stuff to discuss. So, from my side,
just
good evening, everybody.
just give me a few seconds, okay? Let me
Please go ahead.
finish this, okay? I know we are over 6 minutes, but yeah, I talked too much at the beginning, and then okay, guys, I just want to second what you said. It was a great chat. You share, actually, we shared lots of very good pearls. thank God we're gonna post this on YouTube so people they can hear this whenever they want to hear. I'm gonna make a post about Nicole and other travel agents in a positive way, of course, because we always try to lever up the work of our partners too. But like we've been talking here, we think alike. It's funny. We live in different parts of the country, but what we really want is to provide people with great experiences. And sometimes we are a bit too honest, and some people they think, okay, these guys they don't like the popular sites. It's not that. Even today I got a message, and some people they are coming here for the first time. They're gonna stay just 2 days in Lagos. So the first day they're gonna take a boat trip to the caves in Benagil, and then in the afternoon they're gonna explore Lagos by themselves. And then the next day on the 4th of November, they told me, Gabriel, it's the first time in the Algarve. We don't want to go in depth. We wanna see the most popular sites. And then I said, fine, it's November, there are no crowds, I'll be glad to take you there. So amazing, right? So it's pretty much this. Guys, bye-bye everyone. We're gonna keep talking next week, and I just hope you to have a great week ahead. And that's all from my end.
Maybe next week we'll do a
Thank
part
you. See you
2
next
of
week.
this conversation. See you next
Here we
week,
go.
guys.
Good
Enjoy
idea.
it.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye, guys.
Bye.